What it is, y'all? Thanks for tuning in to another episode here on the Speedbug channel. Today we got an episode day focused here solely on the little GROM ski. And by the quick title, you know, by popular demand, been kind of asked about this one. Five things that I dislike about my GROM. Since I do love this thing so much, so it's going to be hard, and I'm going to definitely be nitpicking about 5 things what I dislike about it. So let's get to it. Boom. Number 1. Well, I gotta complain about it. First thing I really actually dislike about this bike is the seat. Now, it's, you call that what, a banana seat or whatever it is. I think that's what it's called because it's just, you know, one piece, whatever. One piece seat, whatever. Anyway, seat is just damn uncomfortable. And I said this in a couple other videos at the time when I was making some videos and doing some things. So the seat, it's just uncomfortable. It just doesn't have a lot of padding because if you sit really up here, you know, all up in here, you're kind of forced too far forward because the bike is so little. Then you tend to move back a little here, and it has a little bit more padding. But bottom line is, they make some aftermarket seats that have a little bit more cushion, excuse me, and it's just a little bit better. So that's something I'm going to be looking into. Go ahead, Ducati fanboys, you know, go ahead. Same, probably, you know, I think Honda and Ducati teamed up together to make this seat because both these seats suck. Anyway, number 2. Second thing I dislike most about this GROM. And I'd probably have to say that's top speed. But now hold on before y'all jump on my case about the top speed and stuff like that. I get it. It's only 125 cc's. I get it. Thing only makes like what, 7 foot-pounds of torque. I get it. But the top speed, if I would have to say, if this thing just maybe had maybe 1 or 2 more horsepower, which would be a lot on something like this and something that's so light, and a 5th gear, man, this thing would be the ultimate killer. But you have to look at some other principles that come into play and why it doesn't have those things, like the wheels aren't balanced, you know, it's only got 12-inch rims and such. I get it. You know, after you start going past, you know, I think it's what, at about 63, 64, the bike starts to hit about red line in 4th gear. And then the fastest I've ever had it is 73, and it was at like red line. I thought the sucker was going to blow. But anyway, you know, 64, 65, let's just say it's just creeping into red line. That's kind of fast for these things to be, you know, for these wheels to be, you know, spinning. And the tires can, you know, they're unbalanced. They cause a lot of vibration. But just overall, the chassis, the chain, the thing's screaming. It's not really designed to be going that fast, especially for long distances. So if you want to go that fast for long distances, you need a better bike and stuff like that. This bike's designed to putt around, go to the beach and stuff like that, which is exactly what I do all the time with it. You know, fly around, go get haircuts, you know, whatever it may be. This is exactly what it's designed to do. So I really can't complain about it, but a 5th gear would be nice. I have seen some people swap, you know, 300cc motors and such into them, but maybe down the road, or you can always put a big bore kit on it with an oil cooler and then sprocket it down, and you got some, you know, higher top speed. You can do 70 and stuff. People do 70, 80 on these things all the time. If I really want to go that fast, I'll hop on one of my other big boy bikes. So at that point in time, you know, you're 3,500 into the bike, you know, you got a big bore kit that's 1,000 and some other parts and change. Now you're $5,000-6,000. That's a really nice 600cc crotch rocket or a really nice cruiser, you know. So it's just not worth it in my opinion at all. That I'll leave it stock, leave it reliable. I got the exhaust on there to make all the noise, that brap, you know. So we'll just keep it going that way. Third thing, again, this is probably mostly for the price point, but I don't like that you really can't adjust the front suspension on this. It is soft. The bike itself is kind of obviously set up in more of a sport touring section. As you can kind of see, it's modeled after that. But there isn't really any adjustment settings, you know, as far as the suspension itself goes. You know, it's not going to have any O-in suspension. Yes, I know you can buy it, but it doesn't have any O-in suspension or O-in, you show a front forks and all that, whatever. No, I get it. But it just doesn't, you know, have it, you know, from the factory. And that's okay. But I think that, you know, Honda could actually price this bike lower than actually what it was released for. But I don't know, man. You still can't put a price on fun. And to me, this is still my most favorite and most fun bike, even more than my Hyper Motard. I just love to ride this damn bike all the time. As a matter of fact, I rode it for about 2.5 hours today. It's still kicking. We're coming up here on 2,000 miles, and it's maintenance free, just oil changes and chain lubes, and just keep on kicking. You know, multiple wheelies, multiple burnouts and everything. And look at it, I'll even get down here. You could even see the back tire, and that's the one that's going to take all the abuse. Got a small crown in the center of it, and we're about 2,000 miles in. That's really good considering the compound of these tires, and they're only 12 inches. So I take this sucker on the expressway. You can call me crazy. I take it down all the side streets, wheelies, stoppies, you know, and it's, hey, you want a bike that you can beat on and have fun with it, this is the bike to have. Fourth thing, let's jump into it. This is something that I addressed already in one of my previous videos. It was done because I like to fart around on it, and if you just ride it around, it's not needed, and that is the clutch. I have upgraded the pressure plate and the clutch. The factory clutch in this thing just sucks. It's super spongy. The clutch springs, when they grab with the pressure plate, there's just not a lot of pressure. Because they don't have a lot of pressure, it causes the clutch to slip a lot, causes it to get hot. The friction, the plates tend to glaze, so on and so forth. If anyone knows about how the clutch works in there, they'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Bottom line, you got to take the cover off here. You know, you do it when you get an oil change. And you got to buy some heavy-duty springs, and I definitely recommend that that pressure plate as well. The factory one is cast, and when you upgrade the pressure, you know, they could break. They could not break, but I upgraded here to a billet one. While I'm in there, it's $40 extra insurance. Now I know it's never going to happen. Last thing I want is some metal pieces floating around in my engine that shouldn't be there, especially when I'm doing shit on it that I ain't supposed to be doing anyway. And the fifth thing, I guess y'all guys know. The fifth thing I dislike about it the most, number 5, is that I had to pay for it. And other than that, I love this damn thing. So if you're thinking about getting one, get one. I still love them. If I had all my bikes paid off and stuff like that, I still ain't selling my GROM. I love this bad boy. This thing is great. I love it. I love it. I can't express how much I love it. And it turns more heads than any of my bikes, than my S1000, my X Diablo, V4, and all them bikes. And you know, I'd be riding downtown or riding on the beach, whatever it may be, and you see a Lamborghini pull up. People are like, oh, look at this Lamborghini, that's cool. You know, they're like, look at the GROM. You know, everybody loves the GROM, you know. So if you think about getting one and you like motorcycles, you won't be disappointed. Don't expect it to be fast. It's just cool, it's light, it's nimble. It's just a fantastic time. And that's going to conclude it here for today's video. If you're getting a GROM, get it. They got new colors actually coming out here for 2019. Some like lime colors and blues and all kinds of cool stuff. Bike overall is still the same, but go to the Honda website, check it out. You might find something there you might like. But I think that's going to conclude it here for today's video. If you like what you saw, don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you here for another episode here on the Speedbug channel.